Alright, so in this video, we're going to take a look at how to build the gold veins on the arms. So what we'll do is we're going to pick up from the high-res body itself. So I'm just going to take a blast here and I'll delete the arms and the fingernails and do delete non-selected. This is good, and then we can do a null and bring it out. So we'll just do an out arms, okay, and then we'll do an object merge, circle and red, okay. So just do Control X and let's take this and bring it here. So it's roughly in the center. Yeah, and then I can zoom in here. Okay, and do Control V. So we have the arms, and what I want to do first of all is we'll just take a clip and I can delete one of them because everything is symmetrical. When I was doing my final scene, I posed it. So what I did was I did it separately for the left arm and separately for the right arm. But yeah, that's because I was just posing it. I wanted something a little bit more dynamic than, just a static pose. But yeah, if you're going to bake this out or whatever, you'll naturally just keep it for one arm and then mirror it to the other one. It'll be, it'll give you a better design. Okay, so what I want to do in a very simple way is if I just, let's get rid of the fingernails. So yeah, I'll just take this and we'll get rid of the fingernails and just do delete unused groups. Yeah, and what I can do is I can just do a group and I can group everything which is open. So I can just come in here and say unshared edges. So I'll get all of these, and then I can just, so this will be top. And then what I can do is I can take a, oh, okay, hold on a second. So maybe we should keep the fingernails. Yeah, because I think they're sort of welded to them. So when you delete it, it causes problems. So we don't want to select those bottom lines. Okay, so we just want to select the top lines. And then what I can do is I can take, we can take another group and I want to select, say, somewhere down here. So I'm going to take points again, we'll call it base, and I'll do select by bounding box. Just find your bounding box and move it. So hold on, let's just come to camera view, lock that. So I'll keep it here, make it big, and then I'll bring it up there. Okay, let's keep it till about here. And then what I can do is I can take a group by expression. We'll call this base as well. So it will basically allow you to sort of subtract from the existing. And I'll do at, we'll do random of at ptnum, do less than 0.1. Yeah, so we're just selecting this much. But you can say intersect with existing. So what you're getting is just some set of points down here within that bounding region. But let's go even lesser. So let's try 0.03. Now, before all of this, we would also want to do a remesh. But let's just take a look at this and then we'll do a remesh. So now I can do a find shortest path. And we want start points to be top, end points to be base. And there you go. So you'll get something nice looking. We can say any start to each end. Or let's try opposite. Okay, if you do each start to each end, it's just going to fill up the whole thing. Yeah, so that's not what we want. So we'll do any start. Yeah, any start to each end looks nice. Maybe we can reduce the number of points down here. So let's try 0.001. Okay, I think this is fine. But what we can do now is let's do a remesh. because as we had seen before, like triangulated geometry gives you a better result. So if we hit a remesh, see, there you go. So this automatically starts looking like veins. Okay, this looks a lot better. And I can do 0.1. Yeah, there we go. See, so that looks nice. It flows a lot better. We can try to go lower. Let's try 0.06. Let's try to go the other way around. Again, we can try to do both. You know, like I can do this and then do Control-C, Control-V, and then do the other one. Yeah, and then if we merge them together, it might be something interesting. Let me just see how many, because it can generate a lot of polygons. See, so this is about 5,000, which is a little too much. Let's try to up that to 0.1. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this one. Okay, so this is the first and, yeah, okay, so first and second. So we want to do, the first one will be any start to each end. It's very confusing. It's like one of those word puzzles. Okay, like say this 5 times and then you get really confused. So the first one will be any start to each end and the second one will be each start to any end. And then if you merge them together, it gives you something a little more interesting. Like it fills up a lot better. And so this is about 53 and that's about 104. So which is fine. Now another thing you can do with this is we can also give it a little bit of coloring to define which areas the lines can flow through. Okay, so this is something that you can do which will look a little better. So what I can do is, like, to keep it very simple, let's just say if I calculate the curvature. So let's just take a measure and we're going to measure the curvature and do principle, or let's try curvedness. Yeah, I think this looks nice. This looks quite nice actually. Okay. And or hold on, let's keep it to principle and let's color this and see what we get. So we can take a color and I can do ramp from attribute. Let's call this, yeah, I hate typing long attribute names. Okay, and this is a value of 0.03 or hold on, yeah, 0.04 to 0.0. This is really small. Okay, hold on a second. Let's try this. 0.03. Okay, there you go. This looks fine. Let's try something else. Let's try the other one. Let's try curvedness. Let's try 0.1. There you go. This looks much better. Let's try 0.4. No, 0.1, 0.2 should be good. But what I want to do is just sort of like define it more. And we can also try to smoothen out the whole thing. So just do a smooth and yeah, smoothen out curvature. Yeah, there you go. See, so that looks more interesting. So what it will allow you to do is it might allow you to sort of, have the lines flow through specific areas. So what we can do is, let's try to reverse this. So I'm just going to remove this and let's make this white and let's make that black. So we can specify, like this is the area through which it needs to flow. Let's see if this works or not. Okay, and then promote this to primitive because I think it needs to be a primitive value. Okay, so we'll take a promote and point to primitive. We want to promote color. And what you want to do is you want to store this to an attribute called cost. Like if you come into find shortest path and on surface constraint, sorry, hold on a second. It's somewhere here. Yeah, so there's something called point cost attribute. So you need to turn that on and define your attribute. Okay, let's see if this is, so this is not, so it has to be a point attribute. So this is not required. So let's just bring this in and we have our remesh, which is fine. And then let's see if this is working or not. Okay, so we have this, or we have both of them. And let's see if this works. So we'll take this. You have the point cost attribute, which is CD. Yeah, see, so it is kind of, see, it's trying to flow through that area. And then we can do the same thing here, which is I can take this go to point cost attribute and make it CD. So what that does is it sort of like limits it to, you know, the line or the area through which it is flowing. You can just try to expand it a bit more. Like we can just try to sort of bring this in. So you'll see that adjusting a little bit more. So it just looks a little more interesting, you know, nothing else. What we can also do is, let's say towards the top, I want a little more white so that, you know, all the points sort of get a chance to go through. So the group that we had here, you know, on top, let's give that a color as well. So we'll just give it a color here for top, yeah, and make that white. So yeah, see, so these kind of like, if I bypass this, it doesn't, you know, like they don't all sort of come in, but if you give it a little bit, then it sort of comes in a little bit more. Okay, and we can try to smoothen it out. Let's see if we can smoothen out a bit more. So let's take a smooth and CD and bring that in. See, so this allows you to, so basically what you're doing is you're allowing it to kind of flow through specific areas, you know, rather than the whole thing sort of coming in. And then we can smoothen out the curves itself. Okay, so just take a smooth here and see, there you go. So those look, you know, much better. And then again, because when it smoothens out, it will sort of drop a little. So you should always do a ray up. Okay, like that's important. So we can just take all of this and move it to a side. And then take this guy and we'll do a ray up. Okay, so just let me save this. And what we can do is just come in here. Yeah, and then we'll take a ray up. And this comes in here and that goes in there. And we'll do minimum distance. There we go. Okay, so now if we merge it together, see, so you have, see, so it's sort of like flowing around, sort of like the muscle areas if you want. And then we can just give this a poly wire so that it looks a little nicer. Yeah, let's try 0.01. Yeah, and then just give the whole thing a normal at the end. Yeah, and then we can mirror it. Like if you want, we can give this a color. So I can just take a color here and make it say red. And then in order to randomize this, what we can do is the group expression that we have, we can do a plus at time. So per frame, it will keep sort of, you know, shifting like that. If we want, we can also, you know, do something for the top over here. Okay, like we can try to do the same thing on the top. Let's just see if we can. Okay, so I'm just going to take the top group and then we'll do another group expression and points, we'll call it top and do the same thing. So I'll just come in here, we'll copy this, do Control C, come up here, do Control V and do intersect with existing, or let's do subtract with existing. Yeah, see, so some of them will go away, but let's try to do 0.1. Yeah, so every frame that selection will change. So it will look, so again, the whole thing will sort of keep shifting. So if we look at it now, see, so per frame basis, things will keep shifting. Instead of a curvature, you can also use a noise map. Like, you know, even that is perfectly fine. So you can use a noise map and then have the noise map offset on a per frame basis. Like that's also perfectly doable. Like what we can do is the color that we have here. Okay, we can take a noise, like I can take an attribute noise, make it 1D and multiplicative, and we can drop that in. Lower the roughness a lot. Let's see what we get. Like if I bypass this, does it change? Yeah. So now what we can do is I can just take this, I can take the offset in any particular thing and do like an at frame. So on a per frame basis, that noise will keep shifting. So the result will keep changing. See. So you can do a combination of things to get, you know, the results that you want. So now what you get is on a per frame basis, you'll get different, results overall. Okay, and then we'll do a null and bring it out. So what I want to do is, because we're bringing in like the full geometry here, actually we don't need to bring in the arms, we just need to bring in the veins, right? So I don't need to do the group, right? Like, you can just remove that. We just need the veins, right? So we'll just call it arm veins, and then we'll take an object merge and drop this in over here, and this is green. We'll do Control X and come in here, yeah, and then Control V. So if I just take this and merge it in, see, there we go. So you have these nice little veins on the arms. So this is mostly like, you can start to just experiment and get a lot of different designs, and yeah, just sort of like different tricks that you can use to detail up the whole thing. Okay, so this is as far as, the body is concerned. So the next thing I want to do is I want to build the helmet. So we'll take a look at the helmet in the next lesson.